Okay. So let us just quickly go through what we have seen last class. So problem solving, we just started. Okay, and then we discussed about when you develop a software, how is it? Like, what are the steps? So we understand that we have analysis, design, and implementation, the basic steps for software development, and we'll see what is each. So analysis is like you're identifying the problem, understanding the problem well, defining it well. Problem in the sense like what are you going to develop, how the software should be. I mean, in the sense what the software will do. And design is like the algorithm or the architecture what you're going to build, and then implementation is finally the actual software. And stakeholders, we discussed about stakeholders, whoever is involved in this, in the software process, maybe as a user who finally use it, or maybe as someone who gives input, or maybe who someone who is actually developing. So the customer, developer, and the user, I think we discussed many examples of customer, developer, and user, isn't it? So customer is the person who is actually requesting for the software. Necessarily, he need not be the user. They are actually developing, I mean, requesting for a software so that it can be given for their customer or something like that. So customer is the person who is asking this software. And then software developer, of course, is the team who is building the software. See, everywhere it is team only, okay? Customer also, it's not just one person, it's the management, so it's a team. Now, when I say user, it is the people who will be using the software finally. So they are all the stakeholders of the software. Do you still have confusions in that?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So then we discussed analysis means the problem definition, which means we are defining the problem well. Now, problem in the sense you should not directly relate it to issue. Problem in the sense what our software would do. Okay, what would be the features of the software? So that will be there in the analysis. Then design and implementation is the actual solution. So then we discussed about why are we talking about problem definition. So already we know, just like say if it is an university management software, we just have to develop a university management system. Why are we so bothered about this step passage? Okay, and then why is it important? That's what we were talking about. So we understood that problem solution means, problem analysis or software analysis for the problem definition means what are the tasks? Somebody is saying something. Okay. What are the tasks which will be performed by the software? And so why do we need to clearly identify that? Because that is what actually the software developer needs. Because what is the expectation from the software? That is what their aim is. Like they have to achieve that. So their goal is that. So for software developer, that is the goal. So then verification is also there. That is after the software is developed, a kind of verification like testing and all that is there. Now, problem definition. So when we say problem definition, it starts with the task of communicating with the customers and the users to determine what their requirements are. This is formally called requirements gathering. So actually, requirements gathering itself is like very extensive task because you can't just simply note down some requirements and start working, because if your idea of your understanding of the problem itself is not clear, of course, the solution what you come up with also would not be correct. So the development team should have a clear understanding of what is the requirements of the software, which means what are the features expected from the software. So the requirements gathering is an extensive step. So what do we do in that? So the customers and other stakeholders, actually basically the customers and the developers interact with each other and then identify the proper requirements of the software. And what happens is after that So once the requirements are gathered, the software development team analyze the requirements. That is, they'll just list out all the requirements and then they see whether the requirements are clear, or if they are not clear, they have to solve it. If they are incomplete, or it is ambiguous and all that. So it should be properly defined so that we can give it to the development team and then they start working on it. So those kind of things. We even discussed about some contradictory requirements, etc. in our case of, say, university management system. So something of that sort, or ambiguous. Sometimes the user or the customer may not tell it very in detail. So they might have partially told it. So sometimes it may be incomplete, sometimes it may be ambiguous. Like it's not clear. It's confusing kind of requirement. So these kind of things should be resolved, and then only you should proceed to the next step. Then there is a step called recording requirements. That is, after the requirements are very clear and established, they need to record the requirements. Record in the sense it should be documented in various formats, like, say, there is something called software requirement specification, etc. SRS, there is a template itself. So you need to actually, the software development team needs to actually form that document. There are even other diagrams, etc., which will represent the requirements well. So all that needs to be done. Now, after that, once this is clear, the customer and the developer should interact and conclude on a legal agreement. That is because later they shouldn't be saying, like, say, we had asked for this, these people have not given that, those kind of things. So they come to a conclusion on what is possible and what have been required and all that. So finally they come to a stage where the developer and customer agrees upon only this much requirements can be satisfied, that kind of a thing. Okay. Then so they are saying requirements document actually is recording what is to be built, not how. So whether you're using Java, whether you're using methods, whether you're using functions, arrays, all that is not an important thing now. When we talk about requirements document, it is just talking about the features of the software, what it will do. Okay. So only if you do for proper analysis, our design and implementation will happen well. Now we discussed about that example of vanilla ice cream that puzzles General Motors. So I had mentioned that day. How many had understood? Can you raise your hand? Don't worry, I am anyway going to repeat, but just out of curiosity, how many got it when I said about that? Okay, good number of. Okay. Okay, so let us just again, anyways, I think around 20-30 people have raised. Anyway, I'll just repeat it once because it was towards the end of the class. I think I rushed. So vanilla ice cream that puzzles General Motors. So there, it is actually a real story. So what happened was a customer of General Motors has communicated some complaint to the customer care executive, and the complaint was this. It is actually this is the second time I have written to you, and I don't blame you for not answering me because I sounded crazy. So what is the problem? The problem is his car is having an issue with the vanilla ice cream. So what is that? So the problem actually now needs to be detailed. So then only we'll understand what is it. So what is that? So detailed description is as follows. So in their family, they have ice cream after dinner each night. So every day, this person, this customer, he actually goes and buys the ice cream. So every night, the family votes for the ice cream, and whichever is the majority, that particular flavor would be bought by him. So and he drives down to the store, and main important fact is recently he has purchased a new Pontiac, and then from then the trips to the store has created some problem for him. So what is it? When every time he buys a vanilla ice cream, he buys the vanilla ice cream from the store and then come back to the car does not start. And any other ice cream when he buys, it is just fine. So he wants to know what is the issue with the Pontiac that makes it not start when he buys a vanilla ice cream, and easy to start when he gets any other kind of ice cream. So there is nothing logical here. So he couldn't get convinced. So he has raised the issue to customer care. So the customer care, the General Motors people, that is some engineer, of course, didn't want to assume that the car is allergic to this thing, etc. So what he wanted to do is he also went with the person, the customer, and he tried driving with him to the. It is the same store, so there is no difference in the store. There no difference in the car also. Only difference is in the ice cream. So he drove with him to the store every day, sorry, every night. And then whenever he got vanilla ice cream, the car did not start when he came back from the store to the car. So that was the issue. So now he wanted to. So what happened was the engineer started noting down the minute details, like say time of the day, type of gas used, time to drive back and forth, and all that. So one thing what he noticed was the man took less time to buy vanilla than any other flavor. That is because of the layout of the store. That is, since vanilla was the most popular flavor, it was in the front of the store and there was a quick pickup. So he could come back fast from the store to the car when it was vanilla, whereas others took little more time. So there is something related to the time. That's what he understood now. Now, when it is time, he understood that it could be the reason. The reason for the car not getting started, maybe because of the vapor lock. Now, why vapor lock? So actually, every night, whichever ice cream he buys, it happened. But then others ice creams, when he bought, it took longer time for him from the store to reach back to the car, because they had mentioned that vanilla ice cream was kept in front of the store, so the pickup was so little quick. But then the other ice creams were towards the back, so it was difficult to access. So I mean, in this sense, difficult to come back quickly. So he took longer duration to come back to the car from the store after buying the purchasing the ice cream. So what happened was, even then vapor lock had happened, but then when by the time he got back, engine got cold, and then so that the vapor lock had released and he could start the car. Whereas when he got the vanilla ice cream, the engine was still too hot and the vapor lock was not released. So what happened was, the car couldn't start. So this was the issue, and this is how he could conclude. So then they concluded that it is not an ice cream problem, but it is a computational thinking problem. There is a logic behind it, isn't it? So that's what they are saying. So they're just telling how it would be actually. So now can you see this slide? So this is how the requirements would be. Okay. So the first slide,
Excuse me, ma'am.
yeah.
Ma'am, how is it related to this computational thinking?
In the sense, it is, though it might look like some crazy problem, there is some kind of thinking. How did he come up to a solution that the vapor lock is the issue? How did he come to that conclusion? Is like step by step he started noting on things, and then he started analyzing the problem well. Different possibilities he would have thought of, because the time, when there is a time issue, what are the different things in the car possible? Computational means you should not think coding, okay? Just problem and solution and reaching it in different ways of thinking. That's all you should think about. So the engineer, what he did was, he step by step noted down every minute point, thought of different possibilities, and he understood that time is a constraint when time is the difference here. So then maybe you can say that patterns were identified for each day. What are the patterns? And then there is a variation. So he understood there is something different. And then when there is time, when he understood that it is something related to time, of course, he got a clue that it could be because of this. So he come down to a conclusion, a solution kind of thing. So it is just telling that it is not like some crazy problem like a suspense, or like some we say Bermuda Triangle and all that. No, like or some we say we don't have reason for it. This was not like a problem like that. But first time when you heard it, what did we feel? Vanilla ice cream having a issue with the Pontiac car. Of course, it's kind of unbelievable kind of a thing. But then the problem is looking crazy. But then when you actually minutely observe, you're trying to bring down to a solution, you're detailing the problem and coming to a conclusion where you got the solution. So that is kind of thinking, right? Now, how do you implement it will be based on like how when they release their new versions of that car, for paper lock, they would either give some instruction to the customers or they may try to have other mechanisms to release the paper lock, isn't it? So that how did you come to that conclusion of solution? That is your computational thinking. No, later how do you implement is your coding, isn't it? You agree or not?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Computational, just because of that, you don't have to think that, yeah, it is, what is that, a programming kind of thing. It's just from the problem, we are coming down to the solution. That thinking is what is our computational thinking. So now what we are talking about is our, what is that, requirements. So we were telling that requirements need to be discussed properly, recorded properly, etc. Okay. So this is just telling an example why we need to like concentrate more on this requirements part. So see the first figure, if you can see, if you want, I'll just zoom it a bit more. So can you see, this is how the customer explained it. Okay. So this is the requirement what the customer gave. Okay. Now when the project leader, so even though we say customer and software development team, so when we say like, say for example, we have given the railway management team has given to the say TCS or some company, it is, though we say TCS, like there are many teams involved in it. So the project leader, how he understood is like this. Okay, there itself there is a miscommunication. Okay, so they have actually meant this. By the time he understood, it was like this. Okay, now the business consultant, when he described it, it looked like this. Okay, oh sorry. Now, when the analyst initially made the design, it is like this. Okay, it's just showing an analogy of how that communication would go wrong. Okay, so let us see just a second. Yeah, so how the programmer wrote it, very different. Now how the project was documented, there is nothing. See, documentation is always like this. What do you mean by documentation?
Ma'am, within the code we write comments, right?
Yeah. So when you write programs, what happens is, like say for example, I have a habit of giving same project for, say I say we have some project running in the college. Okay, so when always we meet with the final years, assume it that way. Okay, so current final years, when they do some part of it and when they pass out, they give their project code to us. In some drive they put it and they leave. Now when the new batch of students come, they actually take it forward. If that is the case, if people simply write some code and if somebody else, a different team actually comes in and wants to modify it, it would be very difficult if you don't write what is each thing. Like say if you write some functions or something, you need to make a note of why you have used it and what is the purpose. So and how you have used. So some basic idea of each of the things would be mentioned in the code. Only then there can be like, if there is a change in the team members, it will be still perfect if you give a proper documentation. So usually, even though we say documentation is like very important, people don't concentrate there. Okay, maybe because of time shortage and other things, people don't concentrate. That's why they have showed like this. There is no tree, there is no swing, there is nothing. Okay, in the documentation. What operations installed? So while installation, there is like partially done. Now, how it performed under load. So usually under load. So I have a question here. So when we say load, okay, maybe when you are testing some hardware components, load means maybe you will put like more weight on it and then try something like that. Now in software, when I say load, what could be that? Can somebody guess? You can't sit on a software and like
When
test
more
it.
users use it, ma'am.
Yes. So, for example, if it is IRCTC software, okay, So when do you have high load on an IRCTC software?
When all the customers book their tickets at one time.
Yeah. So when is that usually? Previously, when we used to book at some time, everybody used to try at same time. What is that? Tatkal booking, right? For train reservation.
Yes,
So
yes,
at
ma'am.
10 o'clock when it releases, all of us would be like many users at a time would access it. So we can say load is high because otherwise there is a high chance that everyone may not try at the same time. But then when it is a Tatkal booking time,
Madam, like exam results.
Sorry?
Exam
Exam
results.
results. Yes. Results also. So when we talk about IRCTC, the highest load would be at Tatkal time. That too, if it is specifically related to some holidays coming up, like say now Dasara holidays. So during the Tatkal time, the load will be too high. Like so, when I say load is too high, that is number of users who are accessing that particular server would be so high. So then we say it is highly loaded. And the other example, what he was mentioning, like say if it was our AUMS, your university management software, and if you got a notice that today at 10 a.m. Results are published, of course all the batch of students will be trying to access that. So then the maximum load would come at that same time. So then we can say the load is high. So under high load, how it performed, it actually broke. Okay, then so how it was supported, how marketing advertised, then what the customer was billed, like he was billed for like a great thing, and finally what the customer actually needed was this. See, what he said and what he wanted also was different. This was what he needed, okay, but what he explained, it was like this. Okay, so that is what we are saying. If that process does not happen properly, this is just an analogy. Okay, so just to tell how that miscommunications would happen, and then finally what would come finally. So even in the even in our softwares, when we specify what we think and what we say itself is different, plus the other person, that is the software team, how they understand also may be different. Now from there, from one team to another, by the time it communicates and reaches, it may be something else. That is where requirements analysis is very important stage. Okay, so they're just talking about why this requirement or the problem definition is very important. That is actually for any project. Okay, now there are two types of requirements, okay, for the software or on a problem, which are called functional and non-functional. Okay, so functional means some specific task the software must perform. Like say, for example, in our IRCTC booking software, I can say booking ticket. That can be a functional requirement. Similarly, say checking the availability, that can be a functional requirement. Then maybe something else could be like say the if you're booking even the food etc, the catering service also, that can be another functional requirement. Non-functional requirement could be like the waiting time should be minimal, the response should be quick. Okay, and like say when you enter your card details, so security should be maintained. So these kind of things are non-functional requirements. Did you understand the difference? Can someone tell me another examples? Functional means it is actually the functionality of the feature or the feature of the system. Non-functional means the other ones. Can you say something? I think all of you have raised your hands. You can lower your hands. Okay. So can someone
When
say me?
WhatsApp messaging is the functional requirement, ma'am,
Mm-mm.
and like how fast it goes, and private like security is
Yeah,
non-functional.
privacy, security, and your quickness would be speed would be your non-functional requirement. Anyone else?
Ma'am, making an ID on Instagram may be a non-functional requirement, and ma'am, using Instagram, posting pictures, videos is functional
Making an
requirement.
ID is actually a functional requirement. That's part of your software.
Okay, ma'am.
So making an ID is also a functional requirement. That is, you are meaning actually the sign up Sign up page is like a functional requirement. The first time user should be given provided a facility how he can register. And then logging in is the other option for the usual users. So they are all functional requirements. But then you can say the Instagram, maybe the speed or performance, those kind of things. The image should be loaded quickly. Those kind of things maybe you can say as non-functional requirements. Somebody else? Hemcharan, what happened? Why quiet? Tell some example. See, all of you have lowered their hands. I still see. Okay, no. Yeah, anyone else? You can either raise your hands or just tell. Some example of functional, non-functional, maybe with respect to your UMS, that is University Management System or Library Management System software. I'm audible, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
2 minutes, ma'am. We'll think and give you.
Okay. Think and tell me some example. If someone gets an example, just raise your hands. I'll call. Clue is you can think of exam component or say university management system software, library software, or hospital software. Yes, Siddharth.
Yes, ma'am. Can I say related to games?
Anything is fine.
Like if you imagine if it is a racing games that we know means it's a functional requirements. That is a racing game. But if you see over there, like how's the graphics, how smooth it goes, that is non-functional.
So when you said how smooth it goes or how clear your graphics are, it is a non-functional requirement. But the functional requirement you didn't say properly.
Oh.
So you told only about the software and non-functional requirement. Functionality, of course, how the component moves, traverse forward. You can say that as a functional requirement, or how much, or how the rewarding is done, like how much points you get. So that is a functional requirement.
Okay.
Yes, Aditya. You have to tell a requirement anyways, not just the software. Yes, Aditya.
Yes, ma'am. Installing Windows 10 is a functional requirement.
Okay.
Using
See,
Google
functional,
Chrome.
non-functional is requirement of a software.
Yes, ma'am. We can install any software.
No. Requirement of which software you are saying?
Operating system. Windows 10 or Mac OS.
See, not like that. See, in the sense, there is a software. Okay, requirement means it's a feature of that software. Now that feature can be, just a minute, Anil. So if you take an example of a software, there can be features which are functional, features which are non-functional. That is what we mean. Not like something is required for it, not like that. You think of some other example, Aditya? Anirudh, yes.
Yes, ma'am. This is an example related to a computer, ma'am.
You should have requirement, functional, non-functional requirements of a software. Example should be a software.
Oh, okay, ma'am. Then I'll
See, when I say requirement, you should not think the other way. Like, say, for example, when I say this software needs something, not that. Requirements means its features. So when I said IRCTC example, what was the requirement? I said the ticket booking. That is not a requirement. No, that's a feature. That is what is called as requirement. Don't get confused. When I say requirement for that software's functionality itself is a requirement. So when I said booking the seat,
in the chat box, ma'am.
yeah, I'll say.
Ma'am,
So when I just a second. So when I say booking the, what is that? Booking the seat, that is like one functionality. I can say it's a functional requirement. Whereas I say it needs to be quick. So then I can say it's a non-functional requirement. Chat, but I can't see anything. Yeah, basic needs in mobile are functional. Think of a software and its functionalities. Checking account balance, yes, in PhonePe is functional requirement. Okay, so PhonePe is the software what you're talking about. Okay, and in that check account balance, that's a functionality or a requirement, which is a functional requirement, correct? And a request being processed. Request being processed is not a requirement actually. Maybe you can say the speed at which. So you say each time checking balance should be quickly done. So that can be mentioned as a non-functional requirement. Yes. Thinking and all, why you have to write? You can think without writing. Yes. Yashwant?
Ma'am, I buy an item in Amazon.
See, again, think of my question. You first have to think of a software. That software's functional requirement, non-functional requirement. That is my question. Now you can say.
I send money in PhonePe from another person, receiver. The payment is failed.
Okay.
Payment is pending. That is non-functional requirement.
But it is not a requirement. No, it is an error. Is it a requirement? Can we say like that? See, requirement means when you say PhonePe, if you have asked, say TCS to develop PhonePe, okay, what are the requirements you would say? So you will say that the transaction is one requirement. Transferring money from one account to another account is another requirement. Then showing the balance will be another requirement. Scanning the QR code will be another requirement. That is how you would say, isn't it? They are all requirements. Now, these are all what I mentioned was functional requirements. Now, in the same PhonePe, like you mentioned, whenever there is an account transfer, if there is a failure, okay, so that failure, or you can say the number of failures should be minimal. If you say like that, you can say that is a non-functional requirement. Or if you say there should be any unauthorized access to the PhonePe, like nobody else should be able to access my PhonePe, then it is a non-functional requirement, but it is still a requirement of that software. Did you get me, Yashwant?
Yeah, madam. Yeah.
Monisha, I'll come back to you, Anirudh. I'm seeing some new hands, so I'm just calling them. Gurmita, Lanka Gurmita.
Yes, ma'am. System shutdown in case of cyber attack is functional requirement, ma'am.
Is it a requirement? Okay, functional. But which is the software there? Can you tell me which software you are talking about?
I am talking overall. I mean, system shutdown.
No. Means some software you should say. That software shutting down when there is a cyber attack. Maybe you can say that way if you want. Assume that you have some critical software in your system and you're saying that when there is a cyber attack, it should automatically shut down. Then you can say, but it is what kind of requirement it is?
Functional.
Is it functional? This is actually non-functional. That is why when you take a software, first you should tell about the functionalities. Other than that, if you have some requirements, that is non-functional. Now you all are taking some general cases and telling some requirements which are some functional, not functional, not like that. That is why you are not able to differentiate. Shutting down, etc. will be non-functional requirements. Because there is an attack, you are reacting to it. But actual functionality will be something else. Maybe it has to count the number of packets, or maybe it has to count number of users, something like that. That is, maybe the software is something else. You can't say that is the functionality. Somebody else?
Ma'am,
Hmm.
ma'am, verification email is sent to user when he or she register for the first time on some software system.
Hmm.
Is functional requirement example, ma'am.
Hmm.
Non-functional requirement is email should be sent with a latency of no greater than 12 hours.
Yes. So what he is saying is when any software, let it be, if you register for the first time, email notification is sent. So that is functional requirement. The same email we are telling that it should reach within this much time, or say you will have like click on this to validate, etc. So that should happen within 12 hours. So that is like a non-functional requirement. Anyone else? Nimeshika?
Ma'am, may I say?
Yeah, Nitish. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, turning on a laptop is a
So
functional.
first think of a software. Which is the software you are talking about?
What laptop?
No, laptop is a software.
No.
So that is not an example. I am talking about a software, its features which are functional and non-functional. That is what we term as functional requirement, non-functional.
Ma'am, can I try?
Who is that?
Ma'am, Rishikesh.
Rishikesh. Yes, Rishikesh.
Yes, ma'am. Like, if we define software for buying stocks and selling stocks, the software should automatically validate the customer that he is not a fraud or something, fraud or anyone who wants to cheat the software, cheat the system. It's a functional requirement. It has to validate the customers which want to exchange stocks. The non-functional requirement is to ask the customer to change the login and password if someone else is trying to access their account. Is it correct?
And also actually kind of functional only because you already told authentication is required. Maybe you can think of it should update the stocks properly, something like that.
Okay.
It actually changes every time, no? So maybe
Yes,
those
yeah.
kind of things. Without any delay, it should get updated. So that delay part, usually this non-functional will be like with respect to speed, security, privacy, all those extra things. So that would be the example for these non-functional requirements. Yes, Monisha.
Ma'am, can I?
Yes, go ahead.
Ma'am, shopping in online platforms is a functional requirement.
Which software you are talking about?
In Amazon, like Flipkart.
Okay, so Amazon. Okay.
Getting a quality products or speed delivery is a non-functional requirement.
Okay, so booking some what is that? Booking some product in Amazon, that booking and that transaction, all that is some kind of functional requirement in an Amazon software. But then there shouldn't be like say once you book, there shouldn't be any change in that delivery date. So those kind of things would be like extra, or like booking itself should happen within a particular time, like in the sense once you start booking multiple times you shouldn't get logged out, something of that sort. So those kind of things are non-functional requirements. Yes.
Ma'am?
Yes, Nimeshika, tell me.
I'm not sure whether this example is correct or wrong, but in
you give it a try. It's okay. I'm there.
Someone's muting me.
Sorry?
Someone's muting me.
See, be quiet. Please just control yourself. Let us speak. Yeah. Yes, Nimeshika.
From the library software system, how fast the software loads or how fast we're able to find a book which we want is a functional type of requirement.
It is a non-functional, explicitly non-functional requirement you are saying.
But how fast?
How fast?
How fast?
How fast? That is your non-functional requirement.
Okay.
And actual booking, no? I mean, actual booking of in the sense, actual withdrawal of a book or what is that? Giving back?
Return.
Yeah, return or renewal of these books would be your actual functional requirement.
Okay.
Non-functional means it's not a functionality of that software. What is your software? Library management software. What are its functionalities? Take books, return books, withdraw, renewing the books, checking the books in the library. These are kind of main important things what is going to happen in your that software, isn't it? So they are all functional requirements. Other than that, when you check for a book, how quickly it is able to retrieve. So that speed, when you say it should be able to retrieve within this time, then that becomes a non-functional requirement.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, Lakshman.
In an Android software, the process how to open the apps is a functional requirement.
Okay.
And the animations behind it is the non-functional requirement.
Kind of.
How to open the apps.
Kind of.
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone else wanted to say? Yeah, Anirudh, you can say. I think always I say Anirudh to wait. Sorry, Anirudh. Tell.
Ma'am, today I don't have any example only.
Okay. So I thought you spoke in between, so I thought maybe I stopped you. Yeah, somebody else was calling me.
Ma'am, can I say?
Yeah, who is that?
I'm Nityashri.
Okay.
Ma'am, Country Delight software, it is used to take orders of milk.
Which
will
software?
Be a function. Country Delight. It is a software which is used to take orders of milk.
Milk, okay.
Will be a functional requirement, and on which day the milk should be delivered will be a non-functional requirement.
Actually, that is also a functional requirement, because which days are also like those things also should be actually taken care by the software, isn't it? Like delivering the milk in appropriate homes in appropriate days is your functional requirement itself. But then there should be no cancellation, if you say. Or if there is any cancellation, it should be informed prior. That you can say, or more than that, maybe you can say when you access your software, there shouldn't be any delay when you try to book a milk. Those kind of things become your non-functional. The day, etc., is still part of your actual software.
Okay.
I think it's time you guys can think of a few more examples and we'll discuss in the next class. Anyway, I think we are ahead of other sections, so we can still spend time. Think of some examples and come. I think there is little bit confusion because you guys are telling a little different examples. It's not still properly differentiating functional and non-functional. So what you have to think is, first you think of a software. Now in that, what are the functionalities you are expecting? So basic functionalities all would be your functional requirements. Some extra features like your speed, security, privacy, etc., timing, etc., would be your non-functionality. So those kind of things you just try. We'll discuss in the next class. Is that fine? Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am?
Yeah.
Can I give you an example without a software, ma'am, about like functional and non-functional requirements?
Actually, we say this for our software only.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, anyways, you tell me, what is it?
Like for a computer, the functional requirement is in OS, but the other applications we have are not really a functional requirement. It is just to make.
I understood what you meant. They are like basic requirements which are required, and the others are extra features.
For a car to move, you need an engine, but other stuff.
Actually, you shouldn't think that way when I say functional and non-functional. So, for example, the same thing I am putting in with respect to a what is that? Software. Okay, let us say we are talking about Paytm. Okay, so the basic feature what it should have is like say booking or say paying bills, then booking Ola, Uber, etc., or maybe booking some tickets in trains, etc. Then maybe knowing the balance, all these things. Maybe you have an extra feature of some offers. Do you say it's a non-functional requirement? Actually, no. This is also functional only. They are all part of your software. These are all actually your something related to your software. Now, when I say, when I attach my bank details to the Paytm, you should ensure the security. That is the non-functional requirement, not others. So this, what you told, no, Anirudh, the example, they are like main functionality and some extra features, but they are all functional requirements only, not non-functional.
Okay. Ma'am, I have one more example. Initially, when Ola and Uber were launched, the problem of privacy being breached was high because the contact number of the passenger and the drivers were directly displayed to each and like one another. But later on, what they did is they like introduced a different thing such that if you wanted to call the driver, it will go through an intermediate person, or the driver wanted to call you, the numbers and privacies will be like.
Okay, so how you will put this is, the idea is correct, but this is not the way how you will tell as a requirement. So assuming that you are trying to develop a cab booking software, the functional requirement would be booking the cab, checking the balance, availability of cabs, all this would be functional requirement. Maintaining the privacy of the phone numbers of the drivers as well as customers would be your feature or functionality, which is non-functional. Is it fine? This way you have to put it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we'll discuss more examples in the next class. We are already ahead of time. Okay. Okay, students. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a great time.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.